You're not allowed to fucking
It's,
post.
it's very important to keep up.
Keep up social standards.
So Syra has a wolf.
So that is something that's going to happen. Okay, they're called Onis.
Okay.
So an Oni is the result of dark energy in the
Uh huh.
soul realm, and dark energy is intelligent, and it can evolve, and
Hmm.
it's closer to chaos, which is the mother of all energies. And so it evolves, but in doing so, it can create beasts or demons or things like that. And an Oni is the result of one of those. So an Oni has so in a and you might be familiar with this in the culture. There's a lot of bad raps around wolves. A lot of people
Please,
get
please,
scared.
please break down your entire world building for me on the spot because because now you must.
You threw me on the spot. My brain's like,
Right.
what? So where you just threw me off. Okay, so
Oni.
in modern culture, wolves get a bad rap. A lot of
Yeah.
people get afraid of wolves. They think they're wicked scary. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Wolves are essential to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take similar traits of that with an Oni, where there's this taboo around them. People are terrified of them. They're massive. They're twice the size of a wolf that you see in modern day, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
In my world, they're huge. But they have these red eyes, which indicates the demon heritage, dark energy, all of that. Now, they've managed to get into the living realm. And so a lot of people, that's where all the crazy slaughter stories come from. They've massacred entire villages. They're bloodthirsty,
Right.
all of this. And you even get a glimpse of this with my dragon rider when he stumbles on them in the first book. And he's like,
Okay.
oh my gosh, these are terrifying. Like his stories, what he's grew up hearing, blah, blah,
Right.
blah.
Right. Right.
And yet, in his moment, he sees a pup with a mother trying to protect her pup. So super, super, I wanted to kind of have that dichotomy there. Now, with Syra, the backstory behind Oni is that Onis are actually connected to my god of dreams, Sakar. And those are his familiars. And he's always had this kind of strange loyalty to her, despite being responsible for some crazy stuff that you read throughout the trilogy.
Hmm.
And he's an a-hole at heart, but he's also got a very, very tormented past. He's one of the ancients. He's been around for 1,000+ years.
Yeah.
And you get to hear more of his backstory in the fourth book, which I'm so excited about because a lot of people have fallen in love with him. And I
So
have too, because
yeah.
he's kind of like this villain redemption kind of arc where he's done some really crappy things even to her, but he's very twisted in the head and he wants to do good, but he's not sure what side he's on yet.
Right.
And so the Onis are his familiars. And in the fourth book, you're going to discover that he has a really soft spot for these beasts. And I'm actually getting ready to write that scene where you get
Awesome.
introduced to that beast. And it's that beast is going to have kind of get connected with Syra. And there's going to be a bit of a bond there. And
That's sick, dude.
Sakar is going to be like, that's my buddy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Do I have your permission to leave that in, or do I need to cut that? Is that too spoilery? Your call.
cut that out.
Okay.
cut most of that out.
Okay. I'll try to leave in what I can without spoilers, or maybe I can do bleeps for spoilers
Actually, what you
so people
could
can kind of
do
get teased a little bit.
is actually, you know what? Leave it in.
You want to leave it in?
Yeah, leave it in
Okay.
because I'm already starting to hint to it. I posted the image as a background image on one of my posts already.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I
Well, fun for your readers. They get kind of a surprise spoiler on this episode, so that's awesome.
So definitely, I'm very excited for the backstory.
Yeah.
Lots of deep dive lore in this one on Syra's
Sick, dude.
storyline.
So last we spoke, I don't know, maybe you had, I can't even remember your word count, but where
It's
are you
crazy.
at? Where are you at now on your word count for book 4?
I am like 80,000 words in.
That's a lot higher than you were last time.
Yeah.
You've done a lot in a week. That's awesome.
I'm crossing 30,000 on Syra today.
Awesome.
So she's only got like 16,000 words left, and then her storyline's done.
Cool.
And then I jump into my Dragon Rider, and his story, everybody's story just like is jam packed in this book. And I'm
Yeah.
just so excited.
That's awesome.
Like, it is just everybody has like catastrophic events happening back to back to back. And you're just
Yeah.
like, what is happening?
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
that's sick, dude. I'm super stoked.
I'm freaking stoked. And
Yeah.
speaking of stories,
Yeah.
Micah,
What?
you
What'd
sent
I
me
do?
something.
I did. I think one of the main goals or hopes is that we can kind of establish like a little, a little writers group, at some point. I think that's good. But so you and I obviously do that anyways. We share stories, we share ideas and things
We
like
do.
that. So it's all fun. But yeah, I sent you my prologue that I had that I've always had in my head because it's not really part of the story, the main story, but it's
Yeah.
like you kind of need to know this because
The story starts somewhere.
it's gonna slap you in the face later, so it's like you might as well
Uh,
know it. So yeah, what'd you think of it?
what I think of it. What did I literally told you there is a specific tone needed when you're writing epic fantasy. And I
Correct. I
think
agree.
anybody who writes in a specific genre can vouch for that. If
Yes.
you write romance, there's a tone. If you
Yeah.
write horror, there's a tone.
Yeah.
When you write epic fantasy, if you can't nail that tone, it's very difficult to grasp it.
Yeah.
Now, you freaking nailed it. In fact, you created the
Aw.
nail, shoved it in there, and then hammered it in and said, that's the
Yeah.
definition.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, I was reading it, I was like, damn. Like, it
Oh,
was
thanks,
just so
man.
good.
That's awesome.
The narrative style to epic, and this applies to high fantasy too, because I think those
Yeah.
kind of get broached in the same area.
Yeah.
But the description work,
Yeah.
the out of body emotional analogies,
Yeah.
the way that you can kind of step outside somebody, and the scene I keep thinking of that you sent me, and can I say it?
Oh, please. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Is when the king realizes what's happened
Yeah.
and he falls to his knees. And you have this entire paragraph dedicated to his emotions and how he's digging his hands into the dirt, the way the snow and the mud mix,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
And there's just like so much showing without telling. And
Right.
there's so much depth to those sentences.
Yeah.
And that is epic and high
Well,
fantasy.
and to be honest with you, it was that's why that's why it takes me so
I
long
get it.
because every paragraph, it's like it's not just like he fell to his knees
And
and sobbed.
cried.
Right,
Yeah.
that's a one sentence, and you see that sentence in a million books.
Yeah.
And it's a whole paragraph. The fact that the snow, had hardened on the top but melted on the bottom, so it was
Yeah.
cutting his fingers, and
Yeah.
the leaves and the broken sticks in between his hands while he's gripping the earth, and
Yeah.
all this and his pants getting soaked and all that kind of stuff. It's like you have to be there. But I think you nailed it when you said there's a tone to epic fantasy.
There is. There
Yeah.
is. And if
There
you can't get
100%
it,
is.
please step out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's why writing every genre isn't for everyone, you know?
Correct. Right.
There's people that write one genre, there's people that can dabble in multi-genre work.
Sure.
I know for a fact, and I've come to this conclusion, if you told me to write a short story with some sort of romance element in it, I absolutely fail. I suck.
100%. I
I
couldn't do it.
cannot do it. I tried, but I am man enough to admit my story work isn't as strong. And that's because I want to grasp onto that tone. I want to
Right.
grasp onto this epic world building, multiple subplots, everything involved.
Right.
And I can't stuff that into a 12,000 word story with
Right.
romance as the primary driver.
Right.
I
Yeah,
can't.
I wouldn't know where to begin in writing a real romance. I have no freaking clue.
Mad respect.
But what's funny is that in my story that I'm working on, there is a heavy romantic
But it's a
subline.
subplot.
Right.
It's part of something so
It's
much
just natural.
bigger.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just it's natural because the characters are natural.
exactly.
And somebody called us out when we were talking about romanticy in a previous episode, and more not so much romanticy, but the pitfalls of making spicy, basically making spicy
Yeah.
scenes in a fantasy setting and calling that romantic, whatever. Anyways, we talked about that a while ago, but they pointed out The Princess Bride.
Which is an incredible story.
Right, which is an incredible story, and the romance is pivotal. It's what drives Wesley.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's so perfect. And
it's so perfect, but I
and
could never do it. I could never do
I
it.
could never do that.
No.
Never, 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 never. I have had romance in my series,
Yeah.
and that is because it's natural and it's pivotal to the character for either their development or in order to drive a certain subplot.
Yeah. Or it just, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it just naturally happens because your characters are living. They're living, breathing characters, and this is natural. This is
Yeah.
going to happen. Yeah.
I can say right off the bat in book 2, my dragon rider, who has been through the ringer already,
Yeah.
and he is shown kindness by a king in the second book, but he finds out that there is a price for that kindness. And the king really isn't that nice, and he's an extremely cruel man, and he's wanting to weaponize Cyrus, my dragon rider. And the king has a daughter, and she's very nice. In fact, Cyrus still thinks about her even now. She's very nice. She's the first person that looks at him like he's a person.
Yeah.
And that for Cyrus is huge.
Sure.
But in that pivotal scene, when he realizes the facade he's been fed is all a lie, he takes his revenge by betting the princess. And that's
Yeah.
a pivotal moment for Cyrus because he's not good at confrontation. And he starts to learn more about himself and stand up for himself, even if it's passive aggressive.
Sure.
But he's also got feelings for her,
Yeah.
Zora. And he's just like, and I have a lot of people who have come for me that are like, when are we going to see Zora again?
Right.
And I'm like,
right.
It's happening. I promise
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
Yeah. Don't say when though. We've already given one major spoiler.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I can't even tell you when yet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So not in book 4. We have, or should we
Not
not
in
even?
book 4.
Should we not even say that? Because then some people might be like, "Oh, I'm skipping book 4." Then there's
you can't skip book 4. I have already told people you're gonna have the biggest dragon rider fight in this saga to
That's
date,
gonna be
and there's a major. I mean, I can't even, dude. My dragon rider is about to have a moment in book 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's
Now,
gonna.
are you still looking at spring? Is that still a reality?
Yeah, I think it can happen.
Cool.
Now that I'm nearly done with Cyrus' storyline and I know Cyrus's storyline almost to a T without even having to outline it.
Yeah.
And obviously I will because I have to be somewhat organized.
Well, I mean, at least say you're organized. Yeah.
At least say it, right?
Yeah,
You should see the comments I'm leaving for myself in Cyrus' storyline right now.
I love
it. Like, you are going to have fun editing this one before you send to your editor.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
I meant to put this in from book 3.
Oh, that's funny.
This should have been brought up like 6 chapters ago.
Right.
But that's the joy of being a pantster.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say I plot, but I really just plot on the fly. Let's just clarify that.
Right. I think I don't know if it made it into the episode, but we were talking about how I do things, and I think it made it into the episode, but we kind of do the same thing. Whereas we take a chapter, we write the chapter, you know, but it's obviously much shorter. It's just a paragraph or two or a page or two, and then we go in and flesh that out. But man, it's so much fun to actually just go through all the chapters that aren't even fleshed out yet, but just seeing the story, and every time you go through it, it's like the story evolves.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
It's so good. It's so good.
That's exactly what happened to me when I opened my laptop about half an hour, 45 minutes ago now.
Yeah.
I opened it up because I was like, I have to get back into Syra.
Yeah.
And because obviously I just told you I'm going to have a pivotal scene here that I'm getting ready to write. And
are you prepared? Are you prepared for this, Chelsea?
I am not prepared for this. I'm freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, do you need, like, I don't know what I don't know what I can send you. You've got coffee. Can I send you some chocolates or some maybe some comfy slippers? Like, you need to be there, man. Like, are you mentally prepared for what you're going to undertake?
I'm hyperventilating because, so her last 5 to 6 chapters are freaking insane. I mean, she just has one thing after each chapter because it all is leading up to a major battle scene. Yeah. And she's not even in the same realm right now. So she's going to come back to a crap show. And,
oh my gosh. That's crazy.
And I can't even say anymore because I'm freaking out. But sorry, cliffhanger. Thank you.
Yeah. Enough of that. no more discussion.
Yeah.
Speaking about dates, man, I
Oh,
would like, and I've never said this in the entire like 15 years that I've been working on this
yeah,
story.
yeah.
I've
Talk
never
to
said
me.
this. I would like to see this holidays of 2025. That is my goal. It's not official yet, but my goal is to have this out in hands holiday 2025.
Okay, so I have a question. Have you thought about a cover design?
Yes, my friend is a graphic designer,
Oh my
and he
god,
has
amazing.
yeah, and he has done some proofs for me, which I absolutely adore. They are beautiful
Proofs for this story?
for the Singing Blade. Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, yeah. So he because like I said, the story has been in bits and pieces on multiple computers, mind you. Shoot, I started writing this when I had like I don't think it had a gig, hard drive, like the old PC that I started writing this on. It was still like dial up internet. It was
Oh
like, I
my
mean,
gosh.
right? It was crazy. But yeah, so he's been he's been working on proofs for me, and he's got a couple of them. I don't think that I would show them or advertise them or promote them as what the final product will be, because I don't think he's going to do it. I will hire a professional book book
Yeah,
cover designer for the end. But this will be
the
uh
concept.
the concept. Yeah, so they will take that, and of course Spencer's given me the rights to it, so I will give them the rights to it, and they can use any bit of it they want. But it's pretty epic. I'm pumped, man. I'm super stoked.
Okay, whew, wow. You giving some sort of just deadline just to
Yeah,
say, okay, I have a goal in mind
right.
where, I mean, that's got to feel surreal for you.
It is surreal, and it's real scary, even though it's like a year and a couple months away, like 14
Yeah.
months away.
Yeah.
It is very, because it's always been my baby, and I've always just been able to go back to it and reread it and change one word, boop, and
Yeah.
it's I've always been able to do that, but I've never set a date. It's just always been my little child that I've kept in you know a drawer and never.
In a drawer
Yeah.
stuffed away from the
Yeah, stuffed
public
away from
eye.
everyone, and I'll just go in every once in a while, and I'll cuddle it, and I'll nuzzle it, and and then I'll put it back, so to actually set a date to it.
Oh my
And my daughter's
gosh.
name is Lily.
Yeah.
The reason I named her Lily is because my main character. This was before we had kids. My main character's name is Iliadora, and so her name is Lily after Iliadora. Illy is what she's called in the book.
Does she know that?
So no, she's not going to know until the book comes
She's
out.
not going to
And
know until the book is out?
no, and in the acknowledgments, it's going to say it. So she'll get the first book, and the acknowledgement will be there on why the main character's name is Iliadora or Illy. Yeah,
That just gave me full body chills, Micah.
yeah. I'm stoked, man.
Micah, I'm like freaking out for you.
Dude, I'm freaking out for me too. I mean, it's like we said,
It's
14
real.
months away, but it's
It
actually real now. Yeah,
Yeah, it's real. And like, how does it feel? Because I know you're dedicating more time to writing.
yeah.
How does it feel to have done that?
It feels incredible. It feels really, really good. I don't know if you noticed, but on the Anatolian Press Instagram, I actually put hours of operation on there.
Good
Like,
for you.
yeah, like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and I break my phones on the weekends, like so I
You've been
can't.
talking about
Yeah,
that?
yep.
Yeah.
So 48 hours. I have no social media activity whatsoever, and then Monday through Friday, if it's before 9 or after 5, I do not do social media. I'm either writing, reading, or spending time with my family, and it's been an incredible change, and it's been really, really good.
Oh my gosh, Mike, I'm so effing happy for you.
Yeah, I am too. Hey, funny side note. One of my favorite books or series of all times is by an author called J.V. Jones. Okay. And
Okay.
I think she's over in the UK. And the first book is called Cavern of Black Ice. I can't remember maybe the series is called Watcher of the Dead.
Yeah.
But I've read it numerous times over the years. And so when I decided to get back into solely focusing on my reading and my writing, hers was the first book I picked up.
Oh, I love
And
that.
it's so funny because she's trad published, of course, and she's been around forever, and she's pulling a George R. R. Martin. It's a 5 or 6 book series, and the fourth book was written in like '94.
No.
Yeah, so 2000. So like what? 30 years, 30 years, 30 years. Maybe I think so. I think the last one was written in
And
94.
she's the fifth and the sixth aren't out.
No. And she disappeared. So who knows what happened?
Oh
Life
my
tragedy,
gosh! I hope she's
um,
okay.
mental breakdown, anxiety, who knows, whatever. Or just stepped away. Who knows?
Who
But
knows?
she just surfaced like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. Her website went back up, her social
Oh
medias went back
crap!
up, and she's like, "Hey, just to let you know, book 5's coming out soon." So super stoked and so happy for her that she's writing, because who knows
Who
maybe
knows what happened?
she did she did like me, and she wrote all this before she had a family, and then she had a family, and it was family time. Who
Yeah.
knows? But anyways, back to the original reason I bring this up. So one of my favorite stories of all times, one of my favorite series of all times, it's just incredible. I'm going through a trad published. I kid you not, almost every other page there are multiple typos.
Oh shoot!
Blows my mind. It's like crazy, like a comma where a period should be, like
Really?
a lowercase where a capital should be. Just very, very strange. And I've never noticed it before.
Well,
But
and being in this community
correct,
and
right,
doing what we do,
right,
it's like your brain just immediately starts picking
right.
them up more and more and
Yeah.
more.
Before Anatolian Press, I really didn't care about typos. It didn't
No,
bother.
I don't even think about like I
But
just
yeah, but now that I have to look at stories, and I have to look at manuscripts and decide what's going out and if it's okay to go out, and even then you miss a million of them. It's
oh
going to happen.
gosh.
But yeah, so I never noticed it. I've read the story multiple times, and it's just like, it's crazy the amount of typos. And so then it's so funny when I sent you that prologue, which is only, I think it ended up being like 2,600 words,
Yeah, it's
right?
not long.
That's just a prologue.
We say that, and then there's people that are like, I can't even write a 1,000-word chapter. Okay,
Right,
I
right.
only say that because I have literally stumbled on people who got
Well,
mad
yeah,
at me for writing 3,000, 5,000 word chapters.
right, right.
And they're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I just do it.
Yeah.
But no harm against
Which
you.
again,
Everybody's genre is different.
right, it's genre, exactly. Which again, I think it goes back to genre, like we were saying with the epic and high fantasy. There's a different tone there. There's a
There
different,
is.
and readers of that genre know to expect that. Whereas if you were to take a reader of a different genre, urban fantasy or romance or a mystery or whatever, if they got into a series of these kind of chapters, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh." I was not prepared to, be
Yeah.
breaking my brain on words and descriptions for the next 15 minutes.
I want to know out there, if we have a romance writer or reader, how long are your chapters? I
Yeah.
just want to know.
Or
I
in
really am
any
curious.
or in any genre other than high or epic fantasy, really.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't know how to write a short chapter. I envy people that can just nail it. Boom.
Yeah.
Here's a freaking 6-page chapter of
Oh,
this
yeah.
gloriousness, and
Yeah.
I've got everything I need in there, and let's
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, it's so funny because
It takes
sometimes
me days sometimes to write one chapter.
oh, yeah.
Days.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. And it's so funny because, like, when I'll go and I'll look at some of the manuscripts you've looked over lately for Anatolian Press, because I have to go in and I have to,
You do formatting, all that
I have to do
work.
the formatting, so I have to separate each chapter so that all
Yeah.
the page numbers and all the headers go together and work in harmony. And I'll just be like, "Oh, that chapter was 4 pages. That chapter was 6 pages. Like, my chapters are like 45 pages." It's like,
So it's so funny you say that. So in the third book, Cyrus goes to the ringer. He's tortured, beaten, separated from his dragon, all this kind of stuff. It's his growth book.
yeah.
And there's a chapter in there that happens that it's only like, when I did it, it felt like it only should be like 4 pages, because I was like, it was a checkpoint chapter.
Yeah, okay.
Where things are starting to turn around for him, but he's still groggy because he's some things happen and he nearly dies. And
As one does when you're beaten and tortured and stripped of your dragon and all that kind
and
of
then
stuff.
you're brutally whipped,
Right.
like
Yeah.
whatevs.
Right.
By the way, okay. So my editor, who specializes in epic and high fantasy,
Awesome.
he's like, he literally writes, why is this chapter so short?
Interesting.
Because in that genre, it's not common.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? And
Right.
I ended up actually doing a massive origin story that you hear about that a character tells him about when he's laying on the table strapped down and he can't move because
Oh,
he's
cool.
healing.
Yeah.
And so you later find out that's a god that's telling him the story.
Interesting.
Which, oh gosh, I love his storyline in book 3.
Oh, that's cool. But
But
it's so
yeah,
funny, like, like you said, with your editor who's familiar with that genre,
why
over
is it so
most.
short?
Right. The anomaly would be the short chapter,
Yeah.
not the long chapter.
He
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
he was like, "What the heck is your problem, dude? Like,
That's
make it
funny.
longer." I
That's
was like,
hilarious.
"I didn't think it needed to be."
Dude, that's so good.
Yeah, because I'm usually the one, like I'm usually, like, I mean, 10, 20 pages sometimes for
Oh,
a
yeah.
chapter, you know?
Easily. Yeah.
And he's just like, "No, not happening."
Yeah. Oh,
And then
also go
what?
ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, when it comes to, and I think this falls into the genre, when you have high intense stress scenes with
Mhm.
either violence, emotional, traumatic, whatever. And I even go back to the scene I told you and I said in the very beginning when the king falls to his knees and you have this whole paragraph just embodies an entire emotion of
Yeah.
absolute sorrow and grief.
Yeah.
And that applies to everything when you're
Yes.
working in epic and high fantasy.
Yes.
I was doing when I'm doing one of the torture scenes and the dragon starts to get tortured.
Mm.
And I thought it was brutal to begin with, but my
Yeah.
editor was like, more. I
Really?
was like, bro.
Wow.
I was like choked up writing it originally, and you're
Yeah.
just like, no, more. So
That's
I
crazy.
call him the emperor. I'm like,
Yeah.
this dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he wanted to embody the absolute, like, you have reached ground
Right.
zero. And
Right.
that torture scene embodied that.
Right. And I think that one of the reasons both of us dabble in fantasy and then secondarily in
Horror.
horror is because whereas maybe the descriptions aren't as, verbose and the worlds don't take as much time to develop and build,
Yeah.
I think the veracity and the visceralness complement
Yeah.
each other and maybe
Yes.
are in the same vein. Because in a horror scene, you need to get the atmosphere right. And if you're doing some type of really disgusting or really, violent or something like that, it needs to be seen. Not,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to show it, not tell it. And
Yeah.
so, and maybe I'm wrong, but it kind of feels like that those two genres complement each other on the on atmospheric buildup
Yeah.
and things like
And
that.
it could be the type of epic and high that you tell.
Yeah.
I lean into, and I can tell even from your prologue, there's those dark undertones
Yeah. Oh
of
yeah. Yeah.
gritty adventure.
Yeah.
We're working with real thematic significant elements of
Right.
redemption, betrayal,
Right.
forgiveness,
Right. Or not
or
forgiveness.
not forgiveness,
Right.
right? I mean,
Right.
it really depends. And so I could be embodying what type of epic and high you want to tell. And
Yeah.
it's because I know I've stumbled on true epics that are like so crisp with adventure
Yeah.
that you couldn't sense a dark undertone if you
Right.
like literally peeled it back layer
Correct.
by
Yep.
layer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of that
Which
comes to mind. Well, I was gonna say it's not.
yeah.
I don't even know if it's not even epic fantasy. It's sci-fi, but it's epic sci-fi. Is the Mortal Engines
Which I've
series?
never read, huh? Yeah.
Oh
But I know them. Yeah.
my god! Don't ever watch the movie, but it's sci-fi. It's got AI. It's these freaking cities on wheels, and because the world has fallen apart,
Yeah.
and it is to this day probably one of the best series I've ever read.
Seriously.
I
Holy cow.
bawled my eyes out at the series finale, book 4.
Whoa. How many
Like
books?
4, I think.
4. Okay.
It was like ugly cry. It was,
Crazy.
and I still think about that ending.
Wow. Which
But
is, the
yeah.
highest praise for a story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just like I was recommended that by my dad's colleague who's a big
Cool.
epic and sci-fi reader. He
Okay.
was like, "How have you not read this?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "I didn't even know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry." So yeah,
So have you, and I'm sure you're not very busy because you don't ever do anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're just lazy and
I'm
sitting around
eating bonbons. Come on,
eating bonbons, drinking iced coffees.
come on.
But Have you ever read the Kingkiller Chronicles
No, but
by
I've seen it.
dude, dude,
I mean, the title alone.
dude? Patrick Rothfuss is the author. If I could ever recommend you something,
Patrick does Name of the Wind?
yes,
Yeah, I own that one. Yeah.
but you've not read it.
No.
Well, I
I am a
own
book collector.
correct. Oh yeah, I own many books I've never read, but yes, that if I could aspire to, if my story ends up being, compared to anything,
Oh,
it would be that book. It would be that book. That book is unbelievable in its descriptions and its
wow.
world building and its characters and the light and dark tones. Because there are some chapters in my book where they're out in on a crisp autumn day and in fields,
Yeah.
golden fields that are just flowing with different colored flowers and chasing butterflies, and it's just this beautiful, but then there's other like in the prologue. The prologue doesn't even get close to the depths
Dark
of
scale.
darkness that's in the story.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but it's like my goal is to have both, to where your hands are trembling, you're white knuckled while reading it because it's so intense, but at the same time you can picture these young lovers having the time of their life frolicking
Oh,
through a field. you know
I love, love, love when you can embody everything at once.
yeah,
When you can show characters that are oblivious even to the realities of their world,
yeah,
and then in the next chapter be able to embody just how devastating and cataclysmic a situation is,
right,
and
right,
they have no idea.
yeah,
That's what I love about multi POVs.
yeah,
It's just you
yeah,
get to go and explore different parts of the world and different parts of these characters,
yeah,
and they don't even know what's going on.
right,
They're
right,
worried about their own plot, right?
hmm,
Like Morai's over here trying to build an empire. Needless does he know that there's a realm fracture and demons are getting ready to bombard the living.
yeah,
And,
right, right,
all of this other stuff is going on. Oh, by the way, the soul realm is crumbling and the living is next.
right,
And he's like,
right,
but my empire,
right,
you
right,
know,
exactly,
he
exactly,
doesn't
yeah,
know. And that's
yeah,
what is so cool. And then Cyrus is over here freaking flying and with his dragon and is like, I just want to be free.
right,
I'm enjoying the way we play in the water when the
right,
wings hit the
right,
sea and like all of
exactly.
that. Oh, by the way, the world is ending.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But so your homework, and it's a small book. Yeah, it's a small
Small
book.
book, what, like 1,200 pages?
It's gigantic. It's monstrous. But dude, read it. Read it.
I want to. I
It's
really, really want
gosh,
to.
like you should make it your next read. Like it is.
Okay, The King's
I've
Killer.
never. Yeah, yeah. King Killer. The first one is The Name of the Wind. The second one is
Oh,
Wise Man's Fear.
the name of the wind is the first book of The King Killer?
There's only two.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So read it. You have
I
no
thought I
excuse.
had to buy something.
No, no, you have, and Rothfuss is pulling a George R. R. Martin too.
Oh, something about those
Um,
epics, man.
yeah, he's even started. He kind of got in some major hot water. I feel so bad for when
Oh,
people do
no
this.
way.
He started a Kickstarter saying sorry it's been so long. It's been like 6 years or I don't know 12 years. It's been forever.
Yeah.
And so he started Kickstarter. He's like, I'm just doing it. I'm going to stop everything else. I'm going to focus on this. He started a Kickstarter with all these,
Like tears.
yeah, a couple tiers and progress goals or accomplishment goals or
Yeah.
whatever. Did all that, and of course, he got backed by by
Oh, I'm sure.
a crap ton of people. I mean, the goal was X amount of money. He made like 12x that much, But then he basically had to say, I still can't do it. I still can't do it.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy, and I feel so bad for him because all he wants to do is get this story out,
Yeah, storytellers, all they want to do is write.
right? And he wants to make his fans happy. He wants to, and
Oh,
so like these readers, I mean it's a hugely popular book,
yeah.
so yeah, and he's a real person. Like he goes out and he plays D&D, with people, and like
I
he's
didn't
like
know that.
Yeah, he's just a regular dude,
I
but for
feel
some
so bad
reason,
for him.
yeah, he had to back out of it, and yeah, and who knows what the problem is. It's really sad. And I don't know.
Oh, well,
So,
gosh, I feel
just
so bad for him. Like,
I'm just telling you that because that's what's going to happen to you in book 5, and we'll be waiting
I
until.
already know book 5 storyline.
Oh,
Thank
I'm sure he
you.
already knows book 3, and I'm sure JV Jones already knows book 5.
I know the
Uh,
title, the cover, and the story of book 5 already.
I would never put that bad juju on you. I would never.
Um, Challenge accepted.
What do you think about
What?
what do you think about Kickstarters for
Oh,
not for the Patrick Rothfuss level, but maybe for like our level? What do you think about like for the standard relatively successful but not highly successful? And again, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Success is relative. Success is
yeah,
relative.
yeah,
I consider myself successful because I wrote a book. That's
yeah. I think
successful.
that's a freaking amazing accomplishment. Like, if you can put time to write a book, prepare it, publish it,
Yeah,
you
that's
have done
success.
something that very few people will
Yeah.
do in the grand scheme of statistics.
Right. So you are successful because of that.
Yeah,
But again, there is a level of success. Are you still working a 9 to 5? Are you doing this full time? Things like
yeah.
that. So there are different levels of success. So I mean, for the everyday indie author, what do you think about people like us doing a Kickstarter or
I
a GoFundMe or things like that?
I think people can have catastrophic events happen in their life. The hurricane that just went by, that's
100%.
catastrophic. And I know that there are situations that happen where people are truly, truly strapped for money and they need something.
Yeah.
And for that, I always think those are really valuable.
Correct. So let me stop you right there before you continue.
Yeah.
Yes, 100% for a tragic or catastrophic event, the
Yeah.
hurricane, the loss of a loved one, heaven
Yeah.
forbid,
Heaven
cancer,
forbid.
a
Yeah.
sickness, anything like that. Yes, but you're not
But you're talking
peddling,
about,
you're not pandering to those circle of people that have come to be your readers and your fans, if you will.
yeah.
I guess that's where I'm coming from. Is it audacious? Is it, I don't know, to to do a GoFundMe or to do a Kickstarter from these people, these fans that you've built when you've only when you're, I don't know. It's a hard topic to breach, but I'm very very curious. I couldn't see myself
I would
starting a
never
Go
ask for money.
right going doing a GoFundMe and saying, hey, well, back a few weeks ago when I had all that crazy anxiety and I really couldn't live life normally.
Yeah.
Right. It was just like I
Yeah.
was I was focused on getting to work and getting home so that I could like, not
Yeah.
not go into a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not gonna say, hey,
Give me
GoFundMe
money.
because I can't function, and like it's weird. It's weird to me. Like it's real weird to
It's
me to ask for money like that.
I think there is a fine line, and I think sometimes people can cross that line because they want to it's almost like they're looking for sympathy,
Yeah.
and they're looking for like, they're throwing their own personal pity party. I hate to use that word. Please
Yeah.
don't come for me.
But I also hate that. I also hate the victim mentality, the
Yeah, and
pity
you
party.
and
Yeah.
I are coming off of this conversation because, and just for context, we saw somebody post, and it did feel a bit like a pity party
Yeah.
where they're
Yeah.
asking for money when they really shouldn't be asking.
Right.
And then they further added fuel to that fire by saying, well, I didn't reach my goal, but I still have to do this.
Right.
And, like, almost, and by the way, it wasn't catastrophic. There's nobody's
No.
dead,
No.
nothing like that. It
Right.
was like saying, I stubbed my toe and can you please give me money?
That's exactly what it
That's
was.
how
Yeah.
it felt. And so that, for context for anybody listening to this, that is where this conversation is coming from, is where is that line drawn?
Yeah.
And is it abusing your position as an author when you start seeking monetary gain from your readers
Right.
for something that is not tragic?
Right. And I don't even know if tragic is the right
I don't even
word, but
know.
right. It's like I said, it's a hard topic,
It's a
but
hard
like
topic.
I don't think it is the reader or the fans or even friends and family's responsibility to give you money.
No,
I
not
don't
unless,
think that's
again, if you were like, my car broke down, it's like $4,000 to fix,
right.
I'll pay you back, family
Right.
member, cool, we'll help
Totally.
you out.
Right.
But I stubbed my toe, can you please pity me and sympathize with me
Right.
and give me money
And
so that
give
I
me
can take
money.
an exorbitant amount of time away
Right.
from life and
Right.
then still expect you to buy and review my work and like
Right.
worship me.
Right.
That
That's what
that's
it
it.
seemed that's what it seemed
Yeah.
like. Was it was just like, holy cow, man, who the heck do you think
Cool.
you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're not naming names, and I don't, but
No.
it just this is really just more it was a topic that Chelsea and I talked about, and we thought maybe we'd bring it up and see what everybody else thinks
Yeah.
about it.
Is there a fine line? And if you think there's a line, where is that line drawn?
Right, right. I just for me, I could never. It's hard for me to ask for money, anyways. To ask
I
for it,
It
but
gives me physical anxiety asking for
it's not
money.
even at the post in question wasn't even asking for help. It was
No.
literally just asking for money. That
Thank
blew
you.
my mind.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah. And
rocked
I've
my
seen that
world.
happen a couple of times. It's not just this
Right.
individual we stumbled on.
Yeah.
It's happened a few times
Yeah.
that I can recall in this community where I'm like, whew, what gives you the right
Right.
to simply ask for money?
Right. It's like, and I know
I
that,
And it's
that is
not a
all.
catastrophic event. It
It's
never
not.
has been. I would never speak up against that because
No.
people, like we said, preempting this, people truly have tragic and catastrophic events. Speaking of, to compare, I know an author who has been in the middle of this hurricane.
Mm.
Never once has he asked for money,
Right.
and he is just freaking bulldog forward, like,
Right.
we're gonna be okay,
Right.
everything's gonna be okay.
Right.
And it's nobody else's responsibility where he's like, well, give me money, everybody.
Right.
Like, and
Right.
that's just
And again,
kind of a
I love,
comparison.
I think you and I both, we love charity. We love helping.
Yes.
And, we aren't even ones to judge on what is considered worthy of charity or worthy of
No,
helping.
not at all.
I'm simply bringing up the fact that, is it okay just to randomly ask for money?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
And I guess you could say for the reason of, for example, I stubbed my toe.
Right.
Not a catastrophic event.
Right.
I stubbed my toe.
Right.
That
I'm not.
is,
I don't have hospital bills.
nope,
I'm not having to relocate.
nope,
This is not going to change my life in any way,
nope.
except boo hoo.
I
Now
just
give
want
me
money.
now give me money.
Yeah, that was where the
Just
line was drawn for Micah
me.
and I. We're like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
you could just ask for money.
it blows my mind. Yeah, exactly. Wait, we can do that. We
We
can just
can
ask
do
for
that.
money.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
that is
kind of along that same road. That's why I haven't reestablished a Patreon or anything for the podcast. We had a few patrons, and I 100% with all my heart appreciate their patronage and their willingness to donate. But I haven't started it up since we kind of switched gears, because I don't want to take somebody else's money for things that we're doing for pure enjoyment,
for
right?
pure enjoyment. Yeah,
Right. When and if we start, doing a writers group, there are going to be costs associated with that.
yeah,
Keeping up the Zoom account, handouts,
yeah,
all the paperwork, things like
yeah.
that. And so then there would be cause for asking for a little bit of money to keep this going. But and maybe it's just me. I don't know. We all know I'm a little old school with a lot of stuff. I just don't get just asking for money.
Well, I think that comes down to, and I was just thinking this while you were saying that, is our perspective on what does money mean.
Yeah.
So, and I think we can apply that to even being authors. I have my ebooks priced as low as they can be. Why?
Correct. Yes.
Because for me, the reader exposure and the joy that reader can get
Yeah.
in joining what I call the empire
Yeah.
far outweighs overpricing my ebook
Correct.
so that I can gain a $2 higher
Right.
profit.
I can't see charging more. Now, I always set our Anatolian Press stuff at $2.99. I would never go higher than that ever in a million years.
You can't
Uh,
anymore with ebooks.
oh,
The
you can't.
trend of ebooks is $2.99 is considered the higher range. And if you're priced even higher than that,
Oh
I
yeah.
dare wonder who buys it.
Oh, I saw somebody who is a indie author. I saw them announce that their new book is coming out, and the ebook was priced at $8.99. Yeah, yeah. Just I think last night or this morning I saw that. Which
$8.99.
yeah, for an ebook.
How
And I
many
can't.
pages?
I do not recall. It is fantasy to some extent, so there it could be lengthier. It could be lengthier.
It could be lengthier.
But
Okay.
ebooks don't.
Not
I'm
anymore.
not. I can't charge money for zeros and ones. I can't
No.
charge money.
01's bits. I love
Yeah,
that.
right. Now that you're a
Oh, I
cybersecurity
got
person,
that
you get
joke.
that. But I can't charge money
Yeah.
for something that is digital and that is just sitting on that's a file. I just can't.
Right.
And maybe that's just me. I've been accused of not being a very good business person for a long time because I never charge what I'm worth, or I
People
never.
get mad, but they're like, why do you charge so low? And I'm like, because it doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm like, the money doesn't matter to me. Maybe I
Right.
am a loser for saying
Right.
that,
Well,
but
you're just a bad businessman or a bad businesswoman.
yeah, in
because you
that
can't.
perspective.
Right. But I just.
Yeah.
Oh, so it blew. So yeah, the $8.99 for an ebook that blows my mind.
4 years ago, that was doable.
Yeah.
The trend of ebooks was, depending on what genre, was how you priced. And then you got those 1%ers that were like, it's free or it's 99 cents
Yeah.
or $1.99.
Yeah.
But in the last 2 years, there has been a massive shift
Yeah.
where $9.99 is the new normal.
Yeah.
And $2.99 is considered high standard. And then you see more free than even charged.
Yeah. Because to me,
yeah.
especially with the ebooks, like we said, it's just a file.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a very
Yeah.
small little, not even a meg,
Yeah.
file. And it's more to get that into the reader's hand. So
To
that
me,
you
that
have it.
matters more.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you love it, or if you're a book collector, or if you want it physically in your hand, then, or if you want to support us, that's how you can give money.
Yeah.
Go, I'm not going to ask for money, but go leave a review and buy the physical copy.
Please.
That way you have a physical copy. And,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. We don't need to beat that down too hard, but I did want to talk about it because where is the line in, as a indie artist of any kind, asking for money? No, I don't know anyone in my circle that could just
ask
for money.
Just because.
And not that I have, hey, I'm having a hard time, or hey, this something happened, or hey, I need help with bills or whatever. That's a pride thing. And if you can swallow your pride and ask for help, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. And I 100% respect that. There's a difference between asking for help and then just asking for money, just blatantly asking for money.
That's
kind of blows
nailed
my
it
mind.
right there. Right there. That's that key differentiator.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it bothered me a little bit. I'm like, what do you expect of your readers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to what we talked about a little while ago, where because of the algorithm and because of how things change in social media, a lot of people at our level have the group of people that the algorithm allows into our circle are people that we have been friends with, are people that we have a connection with. And so now not only are you asking for money, just blatantly asking for money just because you want money, but you're asking the people who trust you and the people who are part of your circle and the people who are your friends.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're the mooch at the bar who doesn't ever pay for his drinks or anybody else's. You just go to the bar and
you're at the bar.
Yeah, you're expecting your homie to buy all the rounds. And you drink the rounds, and then when it's your time to buy a round, you're like, gotta go.
Go.
Yeah. So I don't know. That just it irked me, man.
It irked me too when Micah and I are on the same wavelength, because when he sent me that message, I laughed because I had literally seen something of the same days prior, and I told Micah, I said I was trying to be a good person.
And right. And not let this bother you.
And then Micah was like, too bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll be the not good person. And I'll bring it up because this is crazy, man. I just want an explanation. I just want to know.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too. That's
I just want to know how you can justify that, or yeah, I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Yeah,
I don't either.
that makes sense. But now that we've discussed that a little bit, I don't know. I'm kind of tired today. Can I have $400?
No.
Oh,
But I did stub my toe. I was
so it
going to
doesn't
take the
even
next
work.
12 weeks off. So
Yeah.
if you
I
could
thought I'd
just
try it. It doesn't even work, man. Now
It doesn't?
well, you just said no, so apparently not.
Go ask somebody else.
I don't. I would never do that. I would never do
It's
that.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's weird. Speaking of though, I think I'm getting ready to buy my cover to
Are
get it designed.
you? Do you have now yours? Okay, so yeah, where do you get your ideas? Because there's never a central character or a
Like, yeah, I
yeah.
get it.
So yours are always more vague and more maybe like part of the world than an actual. Yeah. So where do you get your ideas for that, and how are you getting to the idea for this fourth one?
When I was writing the first book and I knew that this was going to be a saga, I wanted covers that were related but not twins.
Hmm.
I wanted like George R. R. Martin. You
Hmm.
know, his covers, when you look at the special collection ones,
Yeah.
there is a relation, but they're not identical or they're not so extreme different where you're like, what the heck is
Is this even the
this?
same book or
Yeah,
yeah
is this even the same
or the
book?
same series? Yeah.
The leather bound ones come to mind when I say that.
I don't know if I've seen the leather bound ones. You have them?
Yeah.
Oh, well, why don't you pull one out so I can see it?
I
Because
have to get up. I have to
are
get
you
up.
wearing pants? Are you wearing pants?
I'm wearing pajama shorts.
I'll look at it. I'll look them up. I'll look them up so that
Look them up so I don't
you
have
don't
to
have to
tell the
flash
world how
too much
freaking
booty to
undressed
everybody.
I am.
Yeah. A-
I'm a
it-
professional.
Ain't
I'm
nobody
a
want to see
professional.
booty whenever this is coming out. 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock on a
Come
Friday
on,
night.
guys.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to
Yeah.
see that. You're going to be like, did you even freaking try today?
Right. And the answer is no. No, I
No,
did
I
not.
didn't. I'm still drinking an hour-old iced coffee. So
Same. Yeah.
that's
I actually made this when we first started talking this morning at like 6:30, and it just sat on the counter. Like it just sat on the counter for hours. Like, oh well.
That's amazing.
Oh well.
So that's the mood today.
Yeah.
That's us being real and authentic.
Hey man, real and authentic. That's what we're all about. Now,
Yeah.
can we get some money?
Yeah.
Still
Please.
no? Is it still no?
No.
Oh, so you were talking about your covers.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted something where I didn't want to rely on the characters, because I think if you don't find the right artist, it can really mess it up.
Agreed.
You know, I know an author who has her characters on the books, and they're freaking amazing. It works.
Awesome.
It's gorgeous. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
beautiful. It's perfect. And so for me, that was my biggest fear, though, is could I even find somebody, and could I even embody the theme and the tone that I'm looking for by putting a character on the front of the book?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure, to be honest with you. And I kind of was leaning at the time, I was leaning towards something more materialistic.
Mhm.
And then I was pacing in my downstairs living area, and
Mhm.
I was like, what do I do? What do I do?
Were you whilst pacing wearing pajama shorts?
I was.
Yes. Okay.
I
Yeah.
live in these.
Good.
Honestly, it's a
Yeah.
terrible habit.
It's
Uh,
it's the best habit. I'm wearing gym shorts that look like they're out of the 70s. They are almost women's pajama shorts.
That's amazing.
I'm not quite showing cheek, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. If I bent over, you'd catch some cheek. So
Oh my god.
what's
Oh
up
my
now?
god, dude. That is too much.
it's
That is effing amazing.
it's Friday morning, man. What are we gonna do?
But I bet it's breezy and it's nice. So
It's breezy, baby. I love it.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. All right. Anyways, so you're pacing back and
yeah.
forth.
This is home living.
That's right.
So I was pacing back and forth, and then I randomly thought, well, at the time I had the majority of my world mapped out, and I had
Mhm.
multiple kingdoms, all of this, and I was like, bro, shields. I can do
Yeah.
family crest.
Yeah.
And that was how it came to be. And so I
Awesome.
decided on Family Crest. And then I knew I could do a similar style every book.
Yeah.
And I could they could be related but not twins.
Yeah.
And each book is going to embody a different crest, color scheme, and background, because there is some resemblance there. There
Yeah.
are
Right.
elements of each book in the
Right.
cover.
Right.
For example, in The Blood of the Lion, at the very end, Morai Geralt, his kingdom is in the Hazar Desert, and so you've got desert background.
Yeah.
But in the very end, he has a major battle scene, and you're left on a cliffhanger. So I wanted his family crest shield on the ground in the desert.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And in book 2, there is a destructive scene with an ancient creature called the Ferrol that is a giant serpent that is summoned and has her revenge on mankind. And she basically
Just your
destroys
everyday simple stuff. Just your everyday
everyday
simple
simple
stuff.
stuff.
Right.
It's
Right.
fine. Summoned by a god,
Right.
all
Right.
the normal things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she destroys the city. And so, but there's a major character death as well. And
Mm.
so there was a combination with that one where you had the Juno family crest on the front of the second book, the serpent.
Yeah.
And then you have this, what looks like debris and like a destroyed city with
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
it.
Awesome.
And then in the third one, it being that there's a lot of reference to the sea and the water. And that's because some of the major moments take place near the sea.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep with that.
Yeah.
And there's, especially because Cyrus has such a massive arc, that his cover, the third book is really in relation to his cover more.
Cool.
But you have the caster wolf, which is Syra.
Yeah.
And she has a major moment as well. So there's some combination with those
Yeah.
character themes. And so
Yeah.
going into the fourth one, there's going to be some really rich aspects inspired by the soul realm, the realm of the dead.
Cool.
And I'm very excited about that.
Awesome.
I've been sitting on it. I'm like, it's time. I gotta buy
it's
it.
time, bro.
Yeah.
It's time, dude. I'm so stoked. I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah.
Have you braved the
New World?
Have you braved the New World? Have you braved writing a sea battle scene yet, or spending time actually on the sea?
Yes. Yes.
Which book is that in? I've read them all multiple times, but I'm just
Of course you have.
I'm curious if you remember which book that's in.
So the first book, toward the end,
Mhm.
Syra boards a ship that she desperately needs to get off this area,
Mhm.
and this ship is her lifeline.
Awesome.
So she boards it, and they are attacked by pirates out at sea in the middle of a massive sea storm.
I am going to this evening. I am going to not read my JV Jones, but I'm going to go and read that. I'm going to ask you for the specific chapter, because I am so enthralled with people that do sea battles or a long time on the sea.
I love it. I
yeah.
love it. I actually, one thing I really want to do, and so actually in the prologue of book 3,
Mhm.
this bad boy back here starts with a character on the sea.
Awesome.
And this character is actually essential. And if you read the previous books, you know who he is.
Yeah.
And it's just an opening chapter, and they're attacked by some creatures.
Sweet.
And a deal is made. And that
Awesome.
that scene comes full circle at the very end of Cyrus's storyline.
Cool.
And so,
I
yeah,
can't wait.
there's a, oh, God, I hope the battle scene in the first book is awesome, because
Oh, it's gonna be
obviously
awesome.
that's my debut.
I know it is.
So-
I mean, I've read it. Like I said, I've read it multiple times, but
Of course,
I'm gonna go reread it. And I know
I'm
it's gonna be
excited, having evolved my craft, because
Yeah.
I think that's a key thing we always need to say to everybody is like, your craft evolves.
Yes.
I can definitely say between the third book going into this fourth book in this last year, something switched with my craft, and I'm very, very, I've seen a massive difference.
Awesome.
And I'm really, really excited to get back on the sea and do another massive battle scene at sea.
Right.
Which
now that you've evolved, and
because I'm like, holy crap! Like, I have a battle scene with Syra, because she has. If you read throughout her storyline, she was raised in Castor, which is right against the Merrill Sea, and
Mhm.
she worked on the port for most of her life.
Yeah.
And she sold to seamen, she sold fish, like anything like that. She bartered, all that. That was her life. And so she's always, always, always loved the sea. And so you'll catch that throughout her storyline in all the books, where she always references to wanting to be out at sea.
Okay.
And you get a real taste of that by the end of the third book, when she starts wishing that her life was a bit different
Interesting.
and that she was out there. And now,
Yeah.
mind you, she's coming off of the book one that she did. There was some things that went down in that battle scene, and some people were like, wow, Sarah kind of got a little ruthless. And I was like, what would you do if the
Right.
situation was turned,
Well, 100%. Yeah.
water spout, storm, pirates are manning the freaking ship.
Yeah.
What would you do,
Yeah.
And your
Dude, that's
life is
awesome.
falling apart. Come on.
I can't.
So
I can't wait to read that.
yeah. And
I'm
so
gonna read it tonight.
I'm excited because she is going to get back on the sea eventually.
Cool.
And I'm not sure which book it is yet, but there is going to be a massive battle scene.
Awesome.
And she's really going to embrace herself in this. And I'm a lot of symbolism. That's
Cool.
what I got to say to that.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped. What do you say we wrap it?
Let's freaking wrap it, dude.
Yeah, bro. RAP.
I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna cut that.
You say rap
WRAP.
WRAP.
So we still don't have a we still don't have an outro.
We don't.
So I'm gonna leave that to you. Chelsea, go ahead and take us out.
Well, everybody, thanks for showing up. Listen to us ramble.
Nope. I'll take it from there.
All right.
Yep. Nope, you are fired from outros.
You're fired. I quit.
Yep, you are fired. Anyways, thank you everybody for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. We don't really have a schedule or things that we're going to discuss. We just discuss. Two writers keeping it real. What's up? That's kind of our jingle, our jam. So if you enjoyed it, let us know. Leave a comment. Hit us up on Instagram. And until next time, I have been Micah.
I've been Chelsea.
And together we have been
Not Ink. Dude, I read the Harry Potter series in like a week and a half.
Harry Potter is different. There's something different about it.
Yeah, but back then, when you're freaking a child and word count matters on your freaking report, yeah.
I think it was book 4. It was either book 4 or book 6 that I literally finished in a night.
I believe it because it's very easy to read.
Super easy.
It's not complex.
No, she wrote some of the best, and they're also carbon copies of every hero's
Star
journey
Wars,
and
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything.
dude, bro.
But she did a great job of interpretation, and her books are incredible. And
it was an era. I mean, it took over the world.
It did. Yeah.
And I still have my Voldemort wand. Okay, so.
Did I tell you I had a Harry Potter wand, and they come in the boxes and everything, and all real pretty and everything. I can't remember what I was doing. I was going to like I was DMing a D&D session, and I thought it'd be funny to dress like a wizard for the night.
Oh my god!
And so as I'm walking out the door with all my stuff, I grabbed the wand and I put it in my back pocket. I go to sit in the car.
No!
Shattered it. So it's now in 4 pieces.
It's a Horcrux.
It is now a Horcrux. I couldn't believe I did that. I was.
Oh my god!
So now I have to reorder it, but it's not the same because I got that 20 years ago.
Dude, it's not.
Yeah.
Mine was a gift. I got it, and we went to Universal Studios. It was years ago I was with my brother, and we literally walked into the Harry Potter store. My wand will react to the little spells they have around the campus. Yeah. And we dressed up as wizards, and we took this selfie, and I still have it. And I'm just like, the best selfie ever.
Yeah,
like, we are dressed as wizards.
Yeah, it's so freaking good, dude. It's so good.